Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance. We are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action now. Jackson out to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Credit that sack to Marcus Davenport. How about the defense there trying to set the tone on the very first play of the game?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a glow here tonight because they brought the heat right out of the gate. What a good job establishing a tone for this one.
A situation they'll certainly want to avoid going forward. An early 2nd and long they're facing. 3rd and 15 coming up after that loss of 2.
Apparently this defense has come to play. A sack and a run stuff behind the line on the first 2 plays.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Throwing is Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Flowers. 5 yards, and that means they come up short as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
Facing 4th down, Baltimore will punt. Jordan Stout out there. Back deep, Khalif Raymond. Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 21. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 4. Another run for Gibbs here. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
But, partner, if the defense isn't going to adjust and they keep giving them those 5, 6, 7-yard runs over and over, they're likely to run it the whole way to the end zone. They'll be more than happy to take the yardage available and save some of their other plays in the playbook for another time.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Off the edge and right to the ball that time was Kyle Van Noy.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Gibbs straight ahead. And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Lions 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
This one incomplete and over everybody. Looked like a clear throwaway, but the officials, they're going to say there's a receiver over there in the area, so no flags, and it's third down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Again, Goff. He's got his target. That's complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
What a drive. This has been just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's second and 12. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. He's got it to Williams. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion good for just 3. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Goff now to throw. Finding his big receiver Patrick over the middle. And the Lions are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
That's a sharp throw right there on 3rd down. They're looking to get the first points of the game, and they certainly don't want it to be on a field goal. So that's a nice job to get the hook up and set up a 1st and goal.
In motion goes Patrick. They'll run with Gibbs. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Back to throw, Goff. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
It hasn't been a real good start to this game from a defensive perspective, but now after the incompletion on 2nd down, things may be changing. If they can come up with one more play, they might be able to get out of it with just a field goal attempt.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Here's Goff. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while, but when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
So the opening drive stalls out, but of the night.
And 3 points, not to be underestimated. You're under the lights, national television audience. This is not a dress rehearsal, partner. This is for real, and a pretty nice opening statement.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. A solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. And the first drive, 3 and out. 2nd possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. And it may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
All right, I've got to be careful here, all right? He's on the plus side of 30. There may be a little gray in the beard, but that's not slowing down his feet as far as he's concerned.
What are you saying? I'm on the plus side of 30.
Well, if you're on the plus side of 30, you don't know what I'm on the plus side of. All I know is that run right there let us know there's still some life in those legs.
Absolutely, still got a lot of life left in those legs. He'll get this to Flowers, left side. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last two plays.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Jackson from the shotgun. Looking for Bateman. He's got him complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Good work after the catch. Gets him 15 and a first down.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Oh, the motion comes too late, and this is going to be a delay. So a little tardy getting everyone set, and the clock hits 0 before they could snap it.
Yeah, you can take your time and use the clock and try and get set up, but once it gets near 5 seconds, that's when you often hear a quarterback yelling, hurry, hurry, to make sure everybody's ready to get the snap off.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now, 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Jackson, options out left. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, a 16-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have answered that early field goal to take a first-quarter lead. So they're down in the red zone. They opt to utilize his legs instead of the arm. It works out pretty well.
I like what they were thinking there, because in most situations now, defense is accounting for all the other runners on the field and, of course, for pass plays. But the quarterback position, oftentimes it is unaccounted for. Offense coordinator felt it, dialed it right up.
Inside the red zone, is this something teams should maybe, depending on the quarterback, do more often?
Definitely. If you've got a quarterback who can actually move it with his legs, that's an extra option and an extra weapon for you. I think they should utilize it more often.
Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Goff now looking to throw. He'll get this one to Patrick. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Off play action. Here's Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Oh, that's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Here's 2nd and 10. On the give, here's Gibbs. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the two tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Here's Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now it's Goff. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10. They'll fake the give. Now Goff. That pass caught. It's Williams. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. The Lions passing game in sync now. They've got another first down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the Lions linemen might have moved. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll send the big tight end in motion right. Throwing again is Goff. That's complete to Laporta. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The Lions with the football here to begin the second quarter as they've got it 2nd down and 12. Goff. And that's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Now Goff. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. They'll get 11, but still a little short. 4th down.
And that big gain may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
So the snap will come from the 3, but remember, they don't need the touchdown. They can get the first down if they get a yard, and the ball gets to the 2. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. They'll get neither the touchdown nor the first down. And this 11-play drive is going to lead to nothing on the scoreboard. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And they'll hit him for a loss as he's back to his 2-yard line. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Running the ball can be a struggle in this part of the field. In fact, it's a perfect spot for defenders to pin their ears back and try and work upfield, and they capture him for a loss.
Second down, they go again with Henry. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. They'll run it again with Henry. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
2 things to watch. First, his strength and being able to break out that initial contact. But at his size, once you slow his momentum, it's hard for him to get it started again and end up tackling him behind the line of scrimmage.
And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position where we were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence, not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. That one a 1st down pickup of 8.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Going up the gut, Montgomery. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd down and 6 now. Goff now looks to throw. His throw incomplete.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a 1st. To throw is Goff. Now he's loose down the left sideline. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jamison Williams, 33 yards. And the Lions are able to move back in front.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead is now 10-7. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
From the 32-yard line now, here's 2nd and 4. Off the option, here's Henry. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33.
Well, when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. They'll come up now, 3rd and 3. Jackson now. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
4th down, and out comes Jordan Stout here to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Here's Goff. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead, it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
Now a 2nd and 10. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. Now Goff. He's got right on the short throw. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Hand off now to Gibbs. Wiggles free. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 48 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. What we saw there, that's what we know that he can do. He can break tackles and turn them into big runs, and that's what he did.
And what is the buzz phrase nowadays in football for a guy like that? Contact balance. The ability to go through trash, come out the other side, avoid and run through contact, and keep your balance.
And his throw is incomplete.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. In motion goes Patrick. Gone. Into the hands of Patrick left side. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. They'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Lions first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. Here's 2nd and 3. Now they'll run it with Gibbs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef, that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
From the gun, here's Goff. That is caught. And he is going to have a Lions first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
It's 2nd and 7 from the 9. Now back to the ground. Here's Gibbs. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
In search of 8 yards on 3rd down. They've already converted 2 of these on this drive, 2 for 2. Goff now to throw. Setting up the screen. This is Gibbs. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. The screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
On 4th down, Goff. Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Lions' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Extra point right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Ravens offense getting set and ready for this next drive. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They begin with Henry, trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Now it's Jackson. A short one there, caught by Likely. And they're able to get this one across the 35. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Now it's Jackson. He finds Hopkins complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Now Jackson. Throwing out left and finding Likely. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And Jackson throwing once more. A short throw caught by Andrews. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Second down and 3. Here's Jackson to throw. This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. But third down coming up.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way. So he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it. Just move on to the next play.
Off the play fake, here's Jackson. Able to find the open man. That's complete. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a one-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. On target to his man, Likely. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And they line up now for what will likely be the last play of the first half. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout called. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash, this from 33. And his kick is indeed good. And they're back within a touchdown. It's 17-10. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no wind. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And the Lions going to go back on offense one final time in this first half. 1 second, all that remains. A final shot before break here. Goff. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. 1 touchdown is the difference. 17-10 our score, and we are back underway on EA Sports. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. Hey, Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
Just a gain of a couple there, and it's second down.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
He's got it complete to Gibbs. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Here's Goff. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side. And he's brought down. It's a first down, his fourth catch of the game after having 3 in the first half.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Goff now looking to throw. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Counter play, here's Gibbs. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
We know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Here's Goff. That is caught by Laporta. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 17-yard line. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
Now it's gone. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw is Goff. This to Laporta, right side. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on 3rd down. Again, Goff. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith. They'll try and get the run game going. This is Henry. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Here's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. And Andrews going to have a Ravens first down as he's got it up to the 13. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Play action. It's Jackson. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. It's Brian Branch with it, and he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. After the interception, here's Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
So they don't even need to run a second down play. Give them the first.
And typically when we see this jumping, isn't it usually third down, fourth down? They got them on second down. I think that's a lack of discipline.
So now then the penalty's got them set up with a first and goal. Out of the gun, they'll give to Gibbs. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Sometimes you get a first and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on first down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. So now, Charles, this drive may be a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
To the catch made by Hopkins. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. It's rare that a man his size can't at least push forward for a yard, but they stopped him there for nothing.
You're talking about Tiny? You talking about the little guy back there? That monster. Yeah, you're exactly right. And it takes a group effort to get a guy like that down and not let him find some space. The first guy in, he's got to take one for the team, right? Because he's just waiting there and holding on for everyone else to help him out.
Jackson to Andrews on that one. First down, Baltimore. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Play action. Now Jackson. Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
I'll give him credit there. Nice job on the drag route. Bring the receiver across the field, hoping he can catch it in stride and turn it up. He was able to do just that, although he's just a little bit short of the first down.
First carry now for Justice Hill. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
You've got to figure the further they fall behind, the more you think that they'll get away from the run. They're trying to stick with it, but the results, they just aren't there.
This offense up on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Jackson. And that is incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively, and you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these.
So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
The Ravens send their punter out now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Goff and this Lions offense set for a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throw over the middle. He finds Williams. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
That's complete to Laporta. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards on the play.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now run by Gibbs. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
2nd down and a yard. This out quickly to Williams. He's been big, 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a 1st down here. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Just beating the play clock is Goff. He finds his man, complete. That's Gibbs. So he stopped for no gain, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
We're in Baltimore, 3rd quarter action, 2nd and 10. Back to throw, Goff. He gets this out wide to Gibbs. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Goff throwing again. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Roquan Smith. And the Ravens are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. After the interception, here's Jackson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Now it's Jackson. A short throw caught by Andrews. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the fourth. From the gun on third down, Jackson. That is caught and past the 40 before he's out of bounds. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give them 17 on that pickup. And in a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
A first down carry for Henry. And he'll be taken down at about the 45. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd and 8. Now Jackson. This will go to Henry out wide. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. To throw is Jackson. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henry. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Jackson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, 55 yards. And the Ravens have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. So that's a really big play here in the fourth quarter. And don't look now, they're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just one score. Here's the kick unit now for the Ravens as they'll send this one away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. I'm curious to see, Charles, about the play calling on this drive. Last time out, the interception that led to a touchdown. Here we are. I mean, very close, one-score game.
Yeah, and if I'm a defender, I'm actually chirping to you on the other side of the ball, saying, hey, we picked off the last one. What you going to do about it now? So when you do throw the football, high percentage, but throw it with confidence. Because if there's any hesitancy at all, it could end up in enemy's hands again.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it. And the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football. I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days. But you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Patrick. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there, because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Gone. throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll send a tight end in motion right. To the air again, Goff. And that's hauled in by St. Brown over the middle. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. Play action. It's Goff. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, dialing up that play call certainly meant that he grabbed a little extra shot of courage on that one, because normally on 3rd and short, you're just trying to move the sticks, get the ball just past that line of scrimmage. Instead, they take the big shot downfield, and it pays.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Lions have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter.
And that right there is the definition of a statement drive. You're in the 4th quarter, trying to get to the finish line, and here they were able to hold the ball for a long time and move it down the field. And how about them finishing it off with the touchdown run? Winning football 101? Check that box.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. For this offense, Charles, remember the last time they were out here, marched it nearly the full length of the football field, and a lot of the attack went through the air, so now they're seeing if they can duplicate that performance.
Okay, if I show my age a little bit, partner, because I can hear my high school coach, John Ford. I can hear his voice in my head. Laddie, when you put the ball in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. But the way the game's being played now, this is just part of what they do, so I don't think they should change anything at all. They've been dominant. Keep throwing it around.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This is 3rd and 7. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 4th quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You've got the 1st one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Throwing is Jackson. That one into the hands of Flowers. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Good yardage on the completion there, and when they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. And Jackson throwing once more. He's got his man. It's Andrews. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. And he will have a Ravens first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on 2nd and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Well, that play never really got off the launching pad. He had a linebacker in his face before he had a chance to do much of anything.
Yeah, I think it's big boys up front, that offensive line. They've got to do a little bit better job of protecting him if they're going to continue to run the option like this.
They go play action now. Jackson under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Lee McNeil, what an effort to get in there and drop him.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. They'll set up to throw. Throw caught by Flowers. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
That's going deep for Bateman. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The Ravens go for it but come up empty. And the Lions will take over. Detroit's offense ready to take over. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 23 yards, the final tally. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. The 71 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression battle.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
In motion goes the tight end. 2nd down, and they go back to Gibbs. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. Gibbs will try and pick it up. And he is going to have the first down, and that is going to suck the life right out of this crowd. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Another run for Gibbs here. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Trying the left side with Gibbs. And he will have a Lions first down, and that's the one that should seal a victory. And we'll see if the defense wants to stop it as they take the knee. Second and 11. From the gun, Gibbs will get it. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with 3rd and about 6 yards to go. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking. Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. And his kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So it's a win here for the Lions, and the guy who spearheaded things was their quarterback, and that's Jared Goff.
Yeah, this was a clinic in how to throw the football. Somehow, he wound up with only 2 touchdown passes despite throwing for over 400 yards. But his impact, it loomed large in this one.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Baltimore, good night, everybody.